What's up, guys? So on today's video, we'll be discussing about Spiti Valley in the month of June 2026. What you should be expecting in terms of the weather, the road condition, the places that you should be visiting. Overall, what is the gear that you need to be carrying to Spiti Valley? The most important question that most people have for June is that will Chandartal Lake be accessible, and what is the routing that we need to be following for the month of June? And the final thing that is everyone's doubt is biking advisable for Spiti Valley in June and the budget that you need to be having. So now starting off with the weather. Now June is the start of summer in Spiti Valley, which is the Trans Himalayas. The daytime temperature will range from anywhere between 10 to 20 degrees. This temperature fluctuation depends entirely on where you are. In places like Kaza and Tabo, it will be warmer, while in places in like I would say Langza, Demul, Dankar, Kibar, it's going to be much cooler. The night temperature will range from anywhere between I would say 0 to 7 degrees. Again, this fluctuation entirely depends on where you are staying for the night. Places like Chandartal will be a lot more colder and windier as compared to other villages. Now, June is just before monsoon, so it's very unlikely that you will be hampered by rains. It is pretty much the peak of summer in Himachal and in the Himalayas. So, by default, if you're planning a trip in the month of June, you should be able to escape the monsoon, which has been plaguing Himachal and causing a lot of floods in the past few years. Now, when it comes to the routing, remember that the routing via Shimla, Kinnaur is going to be definitely open. And going by the past few years' trends, even the road via Manali and Kunzum should be open latest by the first week of June. Now, if you are someone who's planning a trip to Spiti Valley in the first week of June, my personal recommendation is start your trip from Shimla side, that is via Kinnaur. Do the Kinnaur belt via Nako and Chitkul and rest of the bits, and then end and exit via Manali after seeing Chandata Lake, because after the 5th of June, the probability of the road via Manali opening is, I would say, 98%. 2% is if it starts snowing, anytime the road can shut again. So that's something which can happen along the Kunzum Pass road anytime during the year. That is a given. So when you're planning your trip, do not plan your trip from Manali, start and end in the first half of June, because that's going to be very risky. Now, when it comes to the road accessibility, the roads are very well made. So when you're starting via the Shimla side, all the way up till Losar, the road is very well made. It's only after Losar that it becomes a muddy, dusty road, all the way up till I would say getting into Lahore. Till then, the road is very well made till Koksar. So from Losar to Koksar, it's the part which is unmade. Even to go to Chandratal Lake, there is no real road, and that is the only place where you will not have any network after Losar village network is lost on the Chandratal routing. Now, what are the places that you should be visiting when you're traveling to Spiti Valley in June? By default, you should be staying a night in places like Tabo, Kaza, Dankar, Langza. If you can squeeze in, definitely try visiting the village of Demul, which is the cultural capital of Spiti Valley. Now, remember that Spiti Valley is not like any other place. It is a place which is far away, cut off from civilization. So, when you're in Spiti Valley, make the most of experiencing the homestays. Spiti Valley is all about the local connect, and when you are in Spiti Valley, there's no better way to experience Spiti than by staying a night in one of these homestays. So what exactly is these are these homestays? It's every village that you travel to. There are villagers who have opened up a couple of rooms within their property to tourists who can come and stay, and these rooms are nice, warm and cozy. Each room should be easily be able to accommodate anywhere between 2 to 6 people depending on the size of the room, and each one will get a specific bed. Now when you're traveling to Spiti Valley, remember that it is a place which is landlocked and away from most civilization. So by default, you'll have to do the road journey. There is no way you can get in and out of Spiti Valley by taking a flight. The nearest airport is Shimla in Himachal, or Chandigarh or Delhi. Now, when it comes to the food, Spiti Valley has very basic food options. So it's dal, rice, paratas, and maybe momos here and there that you're going to get to eat. It's only in places like Tabo and in Kaza where you'll get the cafes and the restaurants which will serve you good continental and Indian Chinese food options. But if you really want an authentic experience of Spiti Valley, then avoid staying in places like Kaza or Tabo for more than a night or night maximum, because the real experience of Spiti Valley is in the remote villages. It's when you go to these villages that you'll understand how simple and basic life is beyond the regular technology and AI life that we are living in the cities. Now, which are the hikes that you can do in Spiti Valley as a tourist? My personal favorite is the Dankar Lake hike, which is an easy 3 kilometer hike. For that, you'll need to stay in the village of Dankar, hike up, and then return back to your homestay. Just to make sure that you do not hike up in the night, because it's going to be very dangerous to be hiking anywhere in Spiti Valley in the night. Now, what is the kind of gear you need for Spiti Valley in June? You definitely need your woolen wear, but you do not need very thick woolens because it's going to get warmer. And at the same time, you need a very good pair of shoes. You need layers of clothing because the weather in the Trans Himalayas can change in a matter of seconds. It can go from really sunny to extremely cold, or from extremely cold to extremely cloudy and windy in a matter of few minutes or seconds. So come prepared. Carry your UV protected sunglasses because the sun is going to be really harsh. Sunscreen is something that you should carry. Along with this, carry dry cold cream with you and lip gel because your lips will dry up because of this weather and it can end up even bleeding. Do not travel to Spiti Valley without your water bottle because you need to drink at least a couple of liters of water per day in Spiti Valley. So avoid coming there and buying packaged water because you do not want to thrash up the Himalayas. Now, Spiti Valley has excellent 4G and 5G network. Geo and Airtel has excellent network. So you can easily use your cell phone network in Spiti Valley. Both prepaid and postpaid work very, very well. But I would still recommend that you carry minimum of 5 to 10,000 rupees in cash so that in case your network drops or for whatever God forbidden reason your network is not working, you will have cash to pay and you do not have to rely on local ATMs to withdraw money when you're in Spiti Valley. Now, Spiti Valley is a place that requires you to travel with time. You cannot do this trip in a matter of 4 5 days from Delhi or Chandigarh. You need a minimum, I would say, of 7 to 8 days. And in the month of June, you need minimum, I would say, 8 or 9 days because June is the transition month where the snow is melting and the roads are just opening. So by default, the more time that you give yourself in Spiti Valley in June, it will help you make your entire experience more complete because you don't want to travel to Spiti Valley and miss out on Chandartal in the month of June. So for that reason, give it minimum, I would say, 8 nights, 9 days or longer, because the more time you give yourself, the higher the probability of you covering all these places in Spiti Valley would be. Now remember that Spiti Valley is famous for the monasteries, and the must-visit monasteries I would say is Tabo, which is over 1,000 years old. Dankar is another place that you should be visiting. The monastery up there is as old as the one in Tabo. Along with this is Key, Comic, and you can visit the Buddha statue in Langza. Now, if you are someone who's planning a trip to Spiti Valley in the month of June and are confused about how to go about it, we do have trips happening to Spiti Valley in June. You can click on the link in the description and you'll get all the details related to our trip to Spiti Valley in June. You can directly book via our website or you can contact our sales team via the WhatsApp option and they will be more than happy to guide you through the booking process. Now, remember that Spiti Valley is also famous for the night sky, and if you're someone who's into night sky and we're checking out the shooting stars, then the village of Dankar, Demul, Langza, Hikim, Comic, Kibar are the places that you should be at to experience the night sky. Chandratal, the only option of staying at Chandratal is camping, but remember the camping at Chandratal is far away from the lake. It's at least 3 kilometers away. Now, if you're someone who wants to go biking to Spiti Valley, I would suggest it's a hit and miss because the road via Kunzum Pass might not be fully open for bikes in the month of June. It will be definitely open by for vehicles for 4x4 vehicles in the month of June. But for bikes, it might not be depending on the weather condition, especially because winter has arrived late. So now, if you want to go biking, the best time for you to go biking to Spiti Valley, I would suggest, is the month of July, August. This is the best season along with September to go biking. So now, till our next video for Spiti Valley, stay safe, stay happy, and stay blessed.